Hey YouTube, welcome back. So today I have another video for you guys. I'm going to talk about how to breed African cichlids for profit. Now, this can get very complex and there's many different things that you have to understand before you actually do this. First of all, I highly suggest to get a business partner before you get the fish. What I mean is to establish a relationship with either a store or multiple consumers that are willing to buy a fish from you. Now, you have to establish price and quantity before you get the fish. And the reason is, if you get the fish and you breed them, you don't want to get stuck with them. Now, ways to make sure that you don't get stuck with fish. Now, this more applies if you don't have a business partner already connection made. So I highly recommend to stay away from hybrids. Although some people like hybrids and they still can look cool, there are many people that are completely opposed to hybrids. However, with normal non-hybrids, the people that like hybrids also like the normal ones. And the people that dislike hybrids also like normal ones. So your market is at least twice the size when you stay away from hybrids. Another suggestion I have is to stay away from the extremes of fish. What I mean is stay away from those rare fish. Stay away from basically any fish that is not very common. And the reason is, although you may think, oh, you could sell them for a lot more, for example, a zebra pleco worth about $400. Yeah, you can sell them a lot more, but there's a reason that they cost more. Generally, more rare fish are harder to breed, harder to take care of, or just less people like them. And because of that, it'll be harder to sell them. Now, another extreme that you want to stay away from is the aggressiveness. You don't want to deal with many aggressive fish. First of all, it's a little bit more of a pain in your tanks to deal with. And second of all, many people also don't like to take care of aggressive fish. Yes, there are some people that do like aggressive fish, but for the most part, many people don't. Your market is much bigger when you stay away from aggressive fish. Now, like I said before, stay away from difficult fish, stay away from aggressive fish, and stay away from hybrids. Stay away from also fish that get way too big. For example, most haps. You don't want a hap that gets about 10 inches big. You want to breed fish more near the average. Now, once I establish that, now I'm going to talk about you need to make sure you like to keep fish before you start breeding them. And the reason I'm saying this is because personally, I got into the hobby trying to breed betta fishes. And right at the beginning, I got the fish and I tried to breed them right at the beginning. Now, luckily I ended up liking the fish, but I invested so much money and time into it, if I didn't end up liking fish, it would have not been worth it. Many people I know have gotten 6 tanks at a time and realized that they don't actually like to keep fish and then had to deal with trying to get rid of all the tanks, which is a very big challenge. Now, to go on to that, do your research. Do research before you get the fish and really understand the fish and the best quality environment that you can put them in, because they'll breed best in a good environment. And just don't go too fast. Make sure you take your time and really understand what you're doing. Now, another thing I'm going to talk about is a big mistake many people do is they only use one form of selling. For example, many people just use Craigslist or just use eBay. Yes, that works, but you will exponentially increase your market when you use everything available to you. For example, go to near retail stores, talk to them. Go to fish forums online, go to Craigslist, use eBay, and use Aquabid. All those websites, use them to your advantage because they're there to help. Now, I'm going to talk about a little bit of the specifics of what you need to breed fish. Now, this is a little bit general and geared slightly towards cichlids, but it really can apply to any fish. Now, I suggest having at least 3 tanks. First of all is the breeding tank. I have a 36-gallon tank, and that is adequate for a pair. But if you want a group of, let's say, 2 males and 8 females, I suggest a 60-gallon tank, ideal size for breeding. And the reason is the females can't always hide from the males, but it's still big enough to give them some time to relax. Now, I suggest having 2 males in your breeding tank and many females because 1, the males are more aggressive, but 2, when there's 2 males, they'll compete against each other and flash their colors more, which will eventually make them breed more. And when you want to make a profit, you got to get as many fish as possible. Now, your second tank is a fry or egg tumbler tank. Now, if you're going to have the pair, the 36-gallon tank for breeding, then you'll only need 1 to 2 of these, anywhere between 10 to 30 gallons. And this is for the egg tumblers, which I highly suggest if you want to make a profit, because they increase your yield. They basically double the amount of fish that you have because you get them much more rapidly. Now, if you have 3, now I suggest having at least 3 fry egg tumbler tanks or more if you have a breeding group, because you will get loads of fish. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the grow out tank. For a pair, all you'll need is about a 60-gallon tank. This is what I have here. It's housing 73 fish, and it's working just fine for me. But ideally, if you have a group, I would suggest getting multiple 60-gallon tanks or multiple tanks. And the reason you don't want just one huge tank is because the fry that you get will be different sizes at different stages of their life. So you want to be able to separate them by sizes, otherwise they can harm each other. Now, to add on to that, I highly recommend weekly water changes. It'll make them grow a lot faster and healthier. And then I just recommend to make it easy for yourself. So many people like to get very complex filtration systems and stuff that they'll have to clean a lot. And really, that's not good, because in the long run, when you have so many tanks, it really adds up and you spend hours and hours and hours every single week working on them. So I suggest over filtering your tank, using carbon, because that will make it clean. And I just highly suggest keeping clean water, because if you have many tanks, people will want to see them in your house, or pictures of them at least. Make sure you can get good pictures of your fish at any given time. This means clean, clear water. Hopefully this video helped, guys. If you have any other questions, leave them down in the description, or comment them below, and I'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.